Today, I'm hiking the Inca Trail all the way to Machu Picchu. My family has never really celebrated Christmas or New Year's. Instead, every year since 2012, our gift has been family time with the opportunity to travel. Costa Rica, Italy, Greece, the Galapagos Islands. This year, we chose Peru. As we get older and busier, it's harder and harder to get the family all in one place. And after several rescheduled flights, my brother and I ended up in Peru before anyone else. We started to feel the effects of high altitude.
All right, the high altitude's really getting to our heads now.
And instead of resting and acclimating like responsible tourists, we looked for a little bit more excitement.
Oh, he smells hella good.
All right, you do free like here.
He's hot. He's hot.
All right. Before I get canceled, I just want to clarify that those were eucalyptus leaves, which are very good for treating high altitude, which luckily I adjusted to really well. Dude, what are you doing? Anyways, the rest of my family arrived the next day and we set off to do some more adventurous activities. After checking out Las Salineras Amaras, aka the salt mines, we headed back home and called it a day.
Alright, it's currently 3:51 a.m. Cue the travel montage.
For our next adventure, we decided to take on the 17,000 foot monster, Rainbow Mountain. Sounds super fun and beautiful, right? Well, we decided to visit Peru during the wet season, and this was perhaps one of the hardest hikes of my life.
All right, this is definitely not what we signed up for. Oh my gosh, we didn't think it was gonna be this snowy. Look at this. Dude, how are we gonna see a rainbow? Oh man, I'm lightheaded. I don't think I'm ever gonna do this again.
So during all my complaining, I was eventually overpassed by this little girl. And anyways, we eventually made it to the top, and no surprise, everything was covered in snow. It was supposed to look something like this, but instead we got this. Despite our disappointment, I was super proud of my entire family for not giving up, and well, my dad did take a horse up, so...
Catch you at the top.
Anyway, Rainbow Mountain was just a conditioning exercise before our true challenge, the 26-mile Inca Trail.
It's 4:19 a.m. Here we go.
All right, so we just arrived at the unloading point. Yeah, we're gonna walk 20 minutes to the Inca Trail control point and then start hiking for the day. I'm Alex, and I think Andrew's gonna be the weakest link.
I'm Andrew. I think our dad is gonna be the weakest link.
Who do you think the weakest link's gonna be?
Dad. Hi, my name is Sarah, and I think the weakest link is maybe Andrew.
Who do you think the weakest link is? Andrew.
Boys and girls, I will not be the weakest link. I will guarantee.
So the reason why I think he's gonna be the weakest link is, I didn't give a reasoning, I just said it was because there's gonna be this like point on the trail when someone has to use the bathroom and he's gonna delay us like 2 hours. The weak link has asked for the first break.
Oh, vodka? Wait, is that a vodka?
All right, update. Who do you think the weakest link's gonna be?
Well, at this point it is Andrew.
Mom.
Or Andrew.
Andrew.
So while we were enjoying a delicious lunch, Andrew was outside suffering from food poisoning, and little did I know I ate the same food the night before, and I would feel the effects the following day. All right, we finally made it to our first campsite, just washed up. Yeah, we're taking a little break before eating some dinner, but yeah, that was that was a brutal first day, and tomorrow is just gonna be a little bit harder. But all right, we're gonna have some drinks, eat some dinner, and just enjoy ourselves before waking up really early tomorrow. Okay, that was some of the worst sleep I've ever gotten. Yeah, I had to get up to use the bathroom a few times. I ended up throwing up this morning. The altitude really slaps. All right, so the next part of the hike is called Dead Woman's Pass, and it could be called that for two reasons. Either one, a lot of women have died, or two, the mountains kind of look like a woman who is lying in like the supine position, like on her back. Today's gonna be the hardest day, so hopefully we'll survive. We also found out that during breakfast, we actually slept on a cemetery. So yeah, our tour guide was kind of telling us that a lot of people get weird dreams while they're here, and one guy almost died because he was following like a ghost. He fell off a cliff or something. Luckily for me, I didn't dream because I didn't sleep. When I tell you that this was the hardest thing I've done in my life, I am not exaggerating. Okay, maybe a little. With the high altitude, food poisoning, and the vertical hike, I started to hallucinate, and I genuinely did not think I was gonna make it. Halfway up, our tour guide gave us some cocoa leaves to suck on, which apparently have trace levels of cocaine, so that helped a little, but I still felt like dying on the inside. I just kept telling myself, keep moving forward. I never felt so happy to make it to our campsite, where I finally could lay down on my sleeping bag. I ended up skipping dinner and hitting the sack early. We luckily got to sleep in till 6 a.m. the following day. It was a slow start, but we finally got to meet our porters, basically the men who are carrying all of our luggage this entire trip. And you know how I've been a wimp this entire time? Well, these guys have been carrying 60 to 70 pounds up and down the mountains and setting up camp and preparing meals for us. I can't explain how grateful we were for all of their help, and they were taking time away from their families during Christmas. We thank them so much, but they were even more thankful just to have business during the pandemic. These moments make me feel so grateful for everything I have, and these are things that I take for granted every day. So despite the second day being pretty terrible, I gotta say that this entire journey so far has been pretty amazing, which is gonna be a much easier day. And then tomorrow, we're gonna wake up early and see Machu Picchu. All right, so we finally made it to the third campsite, and we haven't showered in 3 days. So we finally have the opportunity to shower. The issue is the water isn't heated, so this is gonna be, you know, I mean, it's supposed to feel good because our muscles are a little bit sore. You excited? So we just made it to the third camp. No! You can't see anything!
No. Dang it. No! All right, so we officially made it to Machu Picchu. The weather really cleared up, which is great. So now we're hiking back to the top to get a better view.
Looking back over the last few days, hindsight is 2020. I can see the highs and the lows of the trip, strengthening relationships within my family along with our companions. The last day taught me to enjoy the journey because before you know it, it'll be over. Don't get me wrong, Machu Picchu deserves its world wonder status. We're all so amazed, but we were also able to explore so many other cultural sites along the way, and to me it kind of felt like we enjoyed the cake already and Machu Picchu was the cherry on top. I want to thank Elizabeth and Trexperience for hosting such an amazing experience along the Inca Trail. We learned so much not only about Inca history, but also about ourselves. I feel like from this 4-day hike, we all came out different people. More grateful, humbled, and ready to continue life's journey.
You're so lucky that guy's there. Yo, you would have died.